Today on Monkey Life, the world's oldest woolly monkey is having a down day.
I think we might need to give that a try another time.
Even in the rain, the chimps are having an up day. And at the orangutan enclosure, it's a very special day.
Xiao Kuai seemed to be carrying something extra.
This is Monkey World in Dorset. Tucked away deep in the English countryside, it's the largest sanctuary for monkeys and apes on the planet. And this is Dr. Alison Cronin, the primate's best friend. Alison and her team spend their lives rescuing...
She is quite mobile.
...and rehabilitating primates from all over the world.
Hello, sweetheart.
They currently look after more than 240 monkeys and apes from 16 different species. The unusually wet, cool summer has proved a bit of a challenge for some of the primates at the park. Their natural habitats in equatorial Africa, Asia, and South America are generally somewhat warmer. At the rescue centre, all the monkeys and apes have indoor and outdoor enclosures, so it's up to them if they want to escape the rain or just take shelter in their own particular way. While some of the primates are happy to brave the showers, over at the Woolly Monkey House, elderly Woolly Susie is showing signs of feeling distinctly under the weather.
Suze, come on.
She's one of only 2 wild-caught Colombian woollies in the world known to be in captivity, and at 36, believed to be the oldest woolly ever. Recently, the primate care team have been growing concerned about her health. Today, Keeper Holly is hoping to inject a little extra protein into her diet.
This is the grub, or sort of infant stage, of a Pachnoda beetle. These grubs are incredibly high in fat and protein, and they're quite a nice little compact snack. So we've been trying to breed them up to use them as sort of supplemental feeds for animals that might be a little bit underweight or not feeling too well, as a way of just making sure that they're getting enough fat and protein in their diet. Susie's one of our very, very elderly woolly monkeys. She's in human years, sort of more than 100 years old, and she can do with all the help she can get, really. So we're hoping that she might enjoy these. She's never tried them before, so it's a bit of a gamble, but we're going to try her, see if she likes them, and if she doesn't, I'm sure we'll have some other primates that will enjoy them. Check it out. OK, Suze. Come on then, Susie. Come have some snacks. Suze. OK, honey. It's all a bit much for poor Susie. Suze, come on.
Susie's definitely having an off day. She's had quite a few recently, and they seem to be following a pattern. Over at the hospital, vet Mike Nathan thinks this may be something to do with her hormones.
Over the last year, she's been having these episodes where she is in acute pain. I wonder if this is tied into her reproductive cycle.
Unlike humans, there are no known cases of monkeys and apes experiencing the menopause. Susie could be suffering when she's in season.
Now, what I thought was that this is a bit like endometriosis in humans. It's a condition where cells from the lining of the uterus can migrate out of the uterus. Sometimes, when it's relatively mild, you can just treat it with pain relief.
But in Susie's case, Mike thinks shutting down her hormones with a contraceptive implant would be better. This would prevent her coming into season and hopefully stop the pain.
Suze, come on.
As for today, it seems nothing can lift Susie's spirits.
What about if we put it up high? can even come closer to you if you want.
And until the minor procedure can be carried out, all Holly can do is try and encourage her to stay fit and well.
That's what you think of that, is it? Oh well, I think we might need to give that a try another time.
It doesn't matter how old or in what condition the rescued primates are when they arrive at the park. Alison and the team do their best for them. They are extremely pleased with the recent rehabilitation of the 88 capuchins who were rescued from a Chilean laboratory.
Hey, you! How do you do it? How do you do it? Oh, I don't want that onion. I don't want that onion. That's smelly.
It was the females who suffered most because they were the subject of birth control experiments. And now one of them is giving cause for concern. Hetty appears vastly overweight and has a very flabby stomach. This might be as a result of the 7 pregnancies and 3 caesarean sections she underwent during her life in the Chilean lab. At the hospital, vets Mike and Femke are about to give Hetty a thorough check. Jeremy attempts to lift her out of the box, but she's a little reluctant.
Is she going?
In the past, Hetty's had a hernia, which may have reoccurred.
There's no hernia,
No?
is there? There's no hernia there.
It's just massively fat. Probably very weak muscles.
Yeah, I think that's all. Right, okay, she's just a fatty. Well, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, you don't feel any hole at all.
I don't
do you?
feel any hole whatsoever. I mean, she's just got very thin abdominal musculature, and if you're going to do, you know, what you're going to do, a tuck like that, there's no need, I don't think. It'd be interesting to see what her bloods are like.
Yeah. Well, this is all
This
fat.
is fat. Look, that's fat there. It's fat all around. I think basically we've got an animal here who has a big fat belly with very, very thin muscle. I mean, she's, you know, that's her problem. I can't feel a hernia. That means a hole through the muscle. The confusing thing with her compared to all the other girls is she's got breast development.
With the hernia ruled out, Hetty's breast enlargement could mean a hormone imbalance, so more tests are needed.
So we'll just run some basic bloods to start with, and then we'll go on from there. But we're not going to open her up.
They'll need to wait for the results before considering surgery, but in the meantime, the primate care staff will carefully monitor Hetty's feeding habits.
Hello, mister. Good boy. Where's Trudels?
Alison and the team are always anxious when any of the park's primates are unwell. But they've been concerned for months about Chimp Trudy and her unexplained health problems. They've tried everything to discover what's wrong, including blood tests, muscle biopsies, X-rays, and even an MRI.
Massive lesion there.
Oh my God.
For Alison, the results of the scan were hopeful.
Basically, we've ruled out tumors, which is a great relief because there would have been probably nothing we could do about that. It's not a pocket of infection. It is indeed trauma. She's basically got 2 slipped discs. Now, that can be, as many people will understand, a potentially serious issue because a slipped disc can be incredibly painful, and for human beings, it generally is. But, you know, she still is moving gently. That's her own body's way of saying, you've got a bit of an injury in your back, take it easy. So it would seem like Trudy's probably taken a fall, damaged her discs at cervical 2 and 3, and she's got 2 slipped discs, slightly slipped discs at this point. We now have to hope that they don't slip any further and that there isn't any other trauma in that area or anywhere else on her spine that we're not aware of.
But since the scan, things have not progressed as the team hoped, and more investigation is needed.
She has lost a lot of weight and condition, and despite all our attempts really to build that condition back up, we're not doing too well. We've been giving her lots of extra food items, but really she's not gaining the weight and the condition, so obviously we're concerned that there is a different problem going on there. Our main priorities are to weigh her and also to take some blood so that we can do some different tests and try and get to the bottom of her loss of condition.
Trudy's been given a light anaesthetic, so vet Mike Nathan can take more blood samples, and the team can take a closer look at the young chimp and examine her limbs thoroughly.
The difference is, I mean, her skin looks okay, her coat looks okay. I mean, she's been over-groomed, but that's what chimps do. To me, the difference is this wasting of her muscles, and as usual, it's the diagnosis that's the problem rather than the treating. I mean, once you know what the problem is, you can either fix it or you can't fix it. But if you don't know what it is, you can't do anything.
The last time Trudy was weighed, she was 29 kilos.
Yes, it could be something. 27 kilos.
Put it back on here and give her
We've just weighed her and she's lost another 2 kilos, and 2 kilos on a little animal like this is significant. So there is, clearly we have some underlying thing happening, and that's what we need to identify, and really it really is that simple.
Cara takes the opportunity to oil Trudy's dry skin to help improve her general condition.
If Mike comes back with the bloods being all clear and Trudy is actually fit and healthy, then we'll look at trying to bodybuild her. So we've actually had a really kind donation of some health food products. That is, one of them's pure protein, really nice tasty drink that she can get down and try and build some muscle, because we don't want to just feed her junk. So between sort of protein and carbohydrate supplement drinks and pure protein things, then we'd be hitting her, and that'll be the next thing, is building Trudy's muscles up.
They've tried almost everything, but it looks like it could still be a long haul to get Trudy fit and well. The primate care team are all anxious about Trudy's health, and the weather seems to be matching their mood. The rain is back. But it seems nothing can dampen the spirits of the park's fun-loving chimps. Over at the Bachelors, the rain has made the tunnel slippery on the outside, turning it into a great slide. Buxom's practicing his technique, much to the bewilderment of Freddie. The arrival of the food scatter gets Turkish Charlie bouncing for joy. But Paco prefers his lunch without raindrops falling on his head. Across the way in Paddy's group, no one can rain on Lola's parade. Or Buster's. Chatter's got her own way of doing things. Just like humans, chimps' hair contains natural oils which repel water from the skin. But a chimp's skin is much tougher and thicker than ours. So Eddie doesn't mind a soaking. She's happy to hoover up the raindrops even in a downpour. Two-year-old Bart, however, isn't a fan and heads for shelter. Mum Susie provides the answer. The results of the blood tests are back for one of the park's female capuchins. The team hope it will shed some light on Hefty Hetty's problems.
We got the blood work back, and everything's within normal ranges. So she doesn't have a hernia. She doesn't have hormonal changes based upon some blood chemistry issue that's causing her to gain weight. She doesn't have a thyroid condition. All of these things we've checked now. So Hetty's got a problem, and that's simply that she's greedy.
This isn't the first time the team have had to deal with an overweight capuchin. Tom arrived from the British pet trade in 2001 with a bit of a belly. His previous owners didn't have him on the correct diet. His problem was definitely overeating, and it looks like Hetty's no different.
So it's a really timely and good reminder that the primate care staff need to be assessing constantly not just the physical state of the monkeys from the lab, but also their mental state. And it would appear that actually, indeed, that's Hetty's issue right now. She's quite a dominant individual in the group, so she's getting her choice and pick of the food, and I imagine what's happening is she's going around clearing up every single banana as breakfast, lunch, and dinner get put out. And she looks the way she does simply because she's overeating.
The primate care team will have to help Hetty watch her weight.
Hetty is going to learn to love her lettuce, as Jim always said, and she'll get separated off during some of the meal times so that she doesn't have access to the really good foods. And, you know, we'll definitely keep her busy and active eating things that are basically low calorie. Get rid of a lot of that carbohydrate and see if we can slim her down a bit.
It's a new day at the park. Unlike most mornings, the care team are cleaning out enclosures and feeding and checking on their primate charges. They're also making final checks on the new orangutan nursery, which is due to open any day now. But while Armé and the youngsters are waiting for their new home, on the other side of the enclosure, something's arrived early. It's put Jeremy in a spin and pedalling across the park towards the orangutan pavilion. Alison's been summoned too, and she's the one to announce the news.
Hey, you might want to head back up this way to Gordon's enclosure. Gordon is now a dab.
Pregnant orangutan Xiao Kuai has surprised the whole team by giving birth a lot earlier than anyone expected.
I just by chance happened to be looking out of the orang nursery window and noticed Xiao Kuai seemed to be carrying something extra. As it turned out, she's given birth about, a month earlier than we estimated. Now, normally, I say normally, but normally they tend to give birth overnight, and we usually come in and find the baby in the morning. Now, if we'd known she was going to give birth today, we would possibly discuss the options of separating her overnight so that she doesn't get bothered by the other ones during the birth or after the birth. And we'd give her a nice big bed and we'd have lots of drinks and food ready for her. So, slightly inconvenient, but on the whole, very good news.
Xiao Kuai has chosen to give birth in a hammock in the middle of the outdoor orangutan enclosure, about as far away from general view and the keepers as possible. Jeremy and vet nurse Penny are anxious to see if both mum and baby are okay.
Hand's really gripping well and in the right place, and yeah.
Jeremy's delighted to see all is well.
You can see the baby's head, which suggested it was a decent size, but then when arms start waving about, and then you can actually see the hand gripping on, that's all good indication that everything's going according to plan.
The new baby is Xiao Kuai's second, and firstborn Kai is anxious to get a look at his new baby brother or sister. But no one's quite sure what he'll make of the sudden arrival, although Jeremy's convinced they'll bond.
Don't mess with my sibling. Right. Back off, woman.
Kai seems very protective of his new sibling, shooing away the other member of the group, Xiao Lan. It seems the new baby is a hit with Kai. But the big test is how Dad Gordon will react.
Gordon, you're a good boy. He's a clever lad.
In the wild, orangutan fathers normally aren't involved in bringing up babies, and in captivity, they have been known to harm their infants.
Very often, in my experience, people don't give them a chance. No, all male orangs kill their babies, so don't let them have them in there. Now, male orangs can be all right around newborn babies. We wanted to educate Gordon and Kai on, having a baby in the group, so that hopefully in the future, the boys are okay around babies rather than baby killers.
But it looks as if Gordon's going to be a great first-time dad. After displaying gentle curiosity about the baby, still attached to the umbilical cord, he leaves Mum in peace to sort it out. Next time on Monkey Life. Anxious moments as Xiaokuai refuses to take the baby indoors.
And we'd rather like it to be inside at this point, but you still don't even know if it's alive.
And the orangutan nursery opens at last.